you talked about like I know you got yourself into a bit of a jam around Russiagate, I suppose, by honestly reporting and dissenting against the dominant view. But like, what do you feel about that now? The way that Trump's allegiance with Putin was presumed to be true, the way that if the way that it was supported by social media and mainstream media. What does that tell us about the relationship between corporate media, blue chip media, legacy media, whatever you want, blue church media, call it what you will, and our current power structures? What did it tell us, Aaron?
Well, to me, Russiagate was a scam, and it was a scam that worked beautifully for pretty much everybody in power, politics, media, and the national security state. And it hurt everybody else, including, I think, helping to fuel the current crisis that we're in with Ukraine. It started with the Clinton campaign, who generated these fake allegations of a sprawling Trump-Russia conspiracy, P-tapes being used to blackmail Trump by Putin, secret meetings with Russian hackers in Prague between Trump associates. All that was complete fiction, concocted by a British former intelligence officer named Christopher Steele. And when they lost the election, and this is documented, they immediately met in their Brooklyn headquarters and decided that instead of just, acknowledging that Hillary Clinton was a unlikable candidate for many people, had a terrible record, that they were going to blame Russia, and they were going to center this conspiracy theory that there was something going on between Vladimir Putin and Trump. So they had a motive there that instead of doing honest reflection about the terrible neoliberal legacy, not just of the Clintons, but of Barack Obama as well, and why so many people in the swing states decided to vote for this clown, Donald Trump, who was pretending to be a working class champion.
Stopping it there, and welcome to Mika Reacts and Reviews, where reacting to things on the internet. And today we're turning to Russell Brand, and he has a guest on here that I believe is a journalist or someone who specializes in whatever he's talking about. His name will be in the title or the description. So FYI, this is a shortened version of a longer version where Russell Brand is speaking to this guy, and in the beginning they talk about the whole Russia and Ukraine and how it's more about NATO, and that the West or America has different special interest in taking on the side of Ukraine, and it has nothing to do with the fact that they have this bleeding heart empathy for the Ukrainian people that is really about brokering arms deals and war weapons and stuff like that. If you want to hear more about that, just go to Russell Brand's channel or ask me for the link and I'll give it to you. You can hear the beginning of this conversation. But I thought this was a little bit more interesting, and I honestly thought you guys would be more interested in the other half of this conversation when they talk about the global conspiracy that is Russiagate, that went absolutely nowhere and cost taxpayers millions and millions of dollars, if not more. And it's funny how a lot of people, when they think conspiracy theories, for some reason they only think of right-wing Trump supporter, QAnon crazy people, but still believe in the whole Russiagate debacle, thinking that Trump was basically married to Putin and they had relations all the way back in high school, and that Trump has this underground white supremacy army ready to pounce in any moment. Yeah, no, it's all fake. It's not true. I'm probably now very much demonetized. I said Russiagate, I said Trump, I said Putin, I said Ukraine, and I said Russia. Those are the things you can't talk about here on YouTube, but we shall see. But yeah, he's right. It was a giant scam that cost the American people and really was just distracting and really didn't put our focal point where it needed to be at the time. But anyway, I'm going to get right back into the video. But before you do, if you like type your videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal and Cash App link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below. It links to all of the alternative platforms I'm on, my socials, including my Twitter, all the ways to support me, and all the ways to contact me for business is always in the links down below. Other than that, sit back, relax, and continue to enjoy the video. All right, here you go.
Instead of doing some honest self-reflection, they decided to blame Russia and blame a fantasy they had about a Trump-Russia conspiracy. That converged with elements of the national security state who also didn't like Trump, not because they cared that Trump is a racist or a sexist, but because he's an embarrassment. He was not a suitable steward of the U.S. empire. He said the wrong things. He blurted out the truth sometimes. He talked about the U.S. being killers when he ordered U.S. troops to stay in Syria after he initially tried to pull them out. He said we're there to take the oil. You're not supposed to say that when you're the U.S. president. You're supposed to say we're there to spread freedom and democracy. You're supposed to say stuff like that. You're supposed to.
That's funny how he said that they felt like Trump was an embarrassment to the empire that is America. Have you seen the empire lately? I think we all need to stand up and look in the mirror. We all have clown faces right now. America is a giant fucking clown face emoji. We don't even know what a fucking woman is anymore. So no, the empire is an embarrassment on its own. Don't really need Donald Trump to do that. But I can understand what people are saying. He didn't talk very presidential. He didn't speak very presidential. He didn't act very presidential. And another big unpresidential thing that he did was sometimes tell the truth. He spoke the inside things on the outside. He pulled the curtain back and showed you what was behind. And that is not what a politician is supposed to do. And sometimes it's for good reasons, but a lot of times it's not. It's for corruption and lack of transparency. And yeah, I agree. It wasn't that they were attacking Trump because they thought he was a scary racist, sexist, or misogynist. No, they attacked Trump because he wasn't a team player. Again, I guess he didn't make them look good. He wasn't bourgeoisie enough. He didn't talk intellectual enough. Like Barack Obama did, he spoke all the pretty words that the people wanted to hear. He stood up straight. He was attractive. At the meantime, he was bombing military-age boys in other countries. He was killing civilians left and right. But people still think he was this amazing president because he speaks well. It's just goes to show how easy it is to dupe people. Like, if you just say it the right way, if you just speak the right language, then people will just be like, yeah, I think bombing people in another country for absolutely no reason had nothing to do with the war. Good idea. Anyway, let's continue.
Democracy. You're supposed to say stuff like that. You're supposed to be like Barack Obama, come up with fancy words and make people feel as if they're all progressive and liberal and enlightened while still keeping U.S. hegemony running smoothly. They also didn't like that he was talking on the campaign trail about getting along with Russia. And he also was even critical of U.S. interventions abroad, like in Syria and Libya. He was talking about, instead of ruining other countries, we're going to take care of our own. Now, I don't think Trump had any actual sincere intent to do that. But what scared people inside the FBI and the CIA was that his message had an appeal. And so the way to undermine his message is to stigmatize it by basically painting him to be a dupe of Russia, and everything he says being the product of Russian disinformation and Russian influence. So that was the interest of the national security state. And that converged with the corporate US media, which helped get Trump elected by giving him billions of dollars worth of free airtime. And they're owned by the same people who run the country, who also saw Trump as an embarrassment and wanted someone more efficient like Barack Obama. And
owned by the same people that is running the country. All in bed together. So it's really hard to have an objective point of view and not be biased, right? When it comes to the information that you feed back to the people. Just saying. But anyway, let's continue.
And they stood to gain by blaming Russia for Trump's victory, because to look honestly at why Trump won would mean looking at what a dysfunctional country the U.S. is, and who has a bigger role in U.S. dysfunction than the people who control the country.
I mean, I agree with that, because even if it's like I think you were speaking more about like the circus that is media and the fact that they will just put a spotlight on whatever that's going to give them ratings as a dysfunction of America. However, he mentioned earlier that, you know, how did this clown Trump get elected in a place like America? Like, whether you think Trump is a clown or not, Trump was a billionaire who had a reality TV show that became the president of the United States against people who've been politicians almost their whole lives, right? He went against the political experts as, again, a reality TV star for the most case. That's how most young people, or most people in that era, saw him as a reality TV star, someone that rappers sing about, and some billionaire who has towers. He became the president of the United States. That says something. That says that America is broken. When someone like Trump, whether you love him or hate him, can become president of the United States. I don't know. Like, and I'm not saying anything bad about Trump, but think about it. What other country has a reality TV star as a president? I know he's more than that. But again, at that time, that's how most people saw him. As, oh, he has that Apprentice show and he's a billionaire. People weren't digging deep into his business ventures and stuff like that, right? And so it just says something about where we were as a country and what people were hungry for and what people needed. But anyway, let's continue.
So for them to look honestly at the reasons for Trump's victory would have meant to look at their own economic policies and foreign policies. They don't want to do that. So everybody had a convergence of interest in blaming Russia and centering on this Trump-Russia conspiracy theory, which, by the way, completely displaces the population from doing anything about Trump's actual policies. Because if the answer to Trump is simply that Robert Mueller is going to come and save the day, then no one needs to be involved at all in trying to change the country and fighting back against Trump being a real resistance. And that's why I like to point out that during the Trump era, there were bigger liberal protests to save the job of Jeff Beauregard Sessions, who was a racist Republican who was Trump's attorney general when he was fired by Trump, than there were to save Obamacare or to protest Trump's tax cuts. And that's because when Sessions was fired, MSNBC and CNN started freaking out that this meant that maybe Robert Mueller would be shut down. So the whole thing about standing up to Trump and protecting democracy was actually completely anti-democratic and really aimed at protecting privilege. And that's why I call Russiagate essentially a privilege protection racket.
I like how he said that it became about protecting privilege, and I still think you see that today. I feel like right around Trump era, that's when a lot of liberals stopped being liberal. And instead of, you know, speaking truth to power, it's almost like they became supporters of corporate. They became supporters of big corporate, big brand, media, big pharma, right? Because they were on their side. They were speaking against Trump. They were saying all the right things. They were putting on the right hashtag. It just speaks to the lack of your own principles, values, and where you stand, or even analyzing what you believe in, where it's like, I will support whatever or whomever as long as it's on my side, as long as they're saying what I want them to say. Going back to what he said about a set of the politicians going, wow, Trump won. What the fuck does that actually mean? And taking a hard look at what they did wrong and reaching out to other people, reaching a hand out and going, where did we go wrong? Why did you guys really vote for Trump? What could we do better to gain your trust back? Instead of doing that, they just went Russia, 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 and called him all the names in a book, racist, sexist, transphobic, misogynist, all these things. Which goes to show they don't give a fuck about you. They didn't ask you, why did you vote for him? What was wrong? Did you not feel like we cared enough about the working class? Did you not feel like the economy was going in the good direction? Did you not like the way the direction the country was going and have a serious conversation about it? But instead of that, they just went, our own interest, what best interests us, what best keeps us in power, what best keeps us aligned. But anyway guys, that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, what I said, what they said in the comment section below. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. If you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and sometimes in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below and links to all of the alternative platforms I'm on, my socials, including my Twitter, other ways to support me and other ways to contact me for business is always in the links down below. I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle. I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go to the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link. Go subscribe to my travel vlog channel and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories is usually what's most up to date. I also have my other channel, Speak Freely. Links down below. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye.